So what is Secret of Mana?
In a peaceful land, paradise is threatened by an unspeakable evil, and only one person has found the power to restore perfect order. In a new action-adventure game for your Super NES comes an exciting tale, The Secret of Mana, from Square, maker of the world's greatest video games.
The Secret of Mana was released on the Super Nintendo in 1993 by Square in Japan. This game was released as Senkin Densetsu 2. Now, where was Senkin Densetsu 1, you may ask? Well, it was actually released in the West as Final Fantasy Adventure, meaning the Mana series had its start being tied to the hip to Final Fantasy, which is pretty cool to know. Secret of Mana was released during the Square's heyday on the Super Nintendo, releasing RPGs to critical acclaim such as Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger, and this game is no different. This game stars a boy, just a boy. In the original release, the boy doesn't have a name, so you can just self-insert your name and pretend it's Macho Man Randy Savage if you really want to. Just know all the characters' names are up to the player. After fooling around with two NPCs near a waterfall, the player discovers the mana sword that talks to him, which they promptly pull out of the ground and as a result, unleash monsters around the area. Whoops! He's promptly kicked out of the village and the adventure starts. Now what is mana, you say? Mana is the energy source of the world, powering the different magic and technology used to destroy the world in the past. It was previously sealed away, but now that the sword is free, the boy is tasked to venture across the world to visit the 8 mana temples to re-energize the sword and the other mana weapons he can gather to take on the Empire, who seek all of the mana seeds to unseal that gigantic mana fortress to take over the world. Along the way, the boy is joined by the girl who seeks to find her hidden love who's been abducted, and a sprite who seeks to restore their lost memories, both of which are fully controllable either by the player or the computer. Their adventures take them across every temple, fighting the Empire and the various enemy monsters before the Mana Fortress is resurrected and the world is destroyed. Tough journey, ain't it? As opposed to the Final Fantasy series at the time, The Secret of Mana is a real-time action RPG, meaning fighting occurs in real time, with the players being able to strike with a button press and move around at their leisure to avoid the various enemies. The foes are all also able to move around, so fighting is more dynamic. You aren't able to spam attacks, mind you. A cooldown bar exists that governs the power of the player's weapons attacks. When you attack, the bar goes to 0 and rapidly increases back to 100%. If you attack before it finishes, the attack is weak and has a greater chance of missing. This cooldown motivates the player to choose when to attack more carefully and to position themselves in the best possible location to hit the enemies. Holding an attack button will cause the selected player to charge their attack for a more powerful swing, with the maximum power being relative to the current selected weapon level. One thing you'll quickly find out is that you will miss a lot. It can be frustrating to be directly next to an enemy and constantly miss your attacks just to find they are able to load you up with damage. Besides your basic sword, you gain different weapons that have different attack arcs and ranges that each have to be leveled up, adding on to the grinding you may have to do. Along the way of your journey, you find orbs for each weapon, which when taken to the smithing character, will increase the attack power, leading to even more grinding. Feeling tired yet? Well, you aren't done. When you pull up the ring menu, the action pauses while you select your preferred action, such as using an item, switching weapons and gear, or eventually using magic. Once you go to each temple, you gain the magic power from the spirits that live there, and the girl and the sprite are able to cast elemental spells. The boy gets nothing, by the way. Each magic spell is based on the elemental of the spirit rescued, with each spell cast draining MP from the casting character. How do you make each elemental stronger? By repeatedly casting spells, of course. So on top of grinding player and weapon levels, you also have to grind magic levels for each spirit. Are you ready? I said, are you ready to grind? Honestly, the combat isn't as tedious as I make it sound, and although you will have to grind to get the maximum levels out of the equipment and spells, the game is fun enough to keep you playing. This is helped by the absolutely gorgeous graphics. Between player characters, enemies, and other NPCs, each sprite stands out against the absolutely amazing environments, which are wide and varied throughout the Mana world. The graphics are also supplemented by the soundtrack, which honestly, if you expected mediocrity from Square in the 90s, you are looking in the wrong direction. The OST greatly supplements the various themes of the world, with each environment being punctuated with an appropriate music track to match. Personally, the main theme and a lot of the endgame tracks stand out to me as some of the best, but I wouldn't blame you if you had any different opinions. All of this already combines for a classic experience, but did you know that you can also play this game multiplayer? Yep, plug in a second controller, and a friend can join you on the couch, each with a different character, swinging your weapon and casting magic spells aplenty. Not to say the AI is completely bad with the main player being able to adjust their behavior in the menus, but man is it refreshing to have someone controlling at least one other character and prevent them from getting stuck on walls or other objects preventing progress. When I played this game, I played it solo, which I feel I've missed an important experience. I can imagine friends or siblings playing this back in the day, tag teaming the various enemies, raging at getting put to sleep again by another flower, and experiencing the story together as a fun time. Something to consider if you want to play this game for yourself. The Secret of Mana is not only a good sequel to the original Seiken Densetsu, but it's another standout hit that differentiates itself from the other RPGs Square itself and other companies released on the Super Nintendo. While it has its frustrations with the combat and the grinding, the overall package should be played to completion. You won't regret it. This game has been re-released in multiple ways and has even been remade in 3D, though some changes from the original has made the game, let's say, a little controversial with the fan base. No matter if you play this version or the new one, just be sure to enjoy your time with the fantasy delight.